Hello teachers, I'm Teacher Wen. I'm ready to teach you how to write lesson plan. It is very important to write lesson plan before class because you have to know who will join your class, how many students are there in your class, and what is your lesson target. So, about our lesson plan, there are a few tips that you need to know first. Firstly, we have to know how to give student homework arrangement. And then we have to know what the topics we have to prepare. Especially the targets of dialogue, vocabulary, and the patterns. By the way, we have phonics and KK rules need to teach, and the ACT workbook difficulties. Okay, so let's review again. So what do we need to teach first? Firstly, we have to think about our homework. How many homework we should give students? Make a list. Listening, memorizing, reading, and writing. Pretend that we are going to teach Unit 1 today, so that they have to listen Unit 1 to Unit 2, CD 3 times, okay, including the vocabulary, dialogue, and the patterns parts. Memorize Unit 1, VOC, patterns, and dialogue as well. And read Unit 1 and Unit 2 3 times at least. And your ACT, or what we call workbook, students should finish Unit 1 by themselves. And you have to let students know that all the difficulties will be taught in the class. And we have to know the vocabulary should be given. The homework one is VOC 3 times and the Chinese once. Besides, students need to write patterns 2 times. Okay. And you have to let students to preview write. So I directly give you preview write 预习写 direction. Unit 2 VOC and the Chinese once. Got it? Okay. So what is the lesson target we need to do? Dialogue, vocabulary, patterns, phonics, KK, activity book, or what we call workbook, and we have to teach them the difficulties. Alright. So you can see we can separate the units into 2 hours. The first hour we have to finish our courses as soon as possible. See, you have to present the points in today's unit. So when we finish Unit 1 in time, so that our 2 will be very easy to arrange. So if you finish it on time, your hour 2 time will be offered some activities like ST difficulties, the phonics part, and you have some quiz and the makeup test need to finish in hour 2. Okay. How do we prepare the lessons? Firstly, you have to make sure the vocabularies, pronunciation, and whether it is verb, noun, or adjective, so that you have to directly teach students when you give them some extension. By the way, the verb should be taught verbal chant. So like go, went, done, do, did, done. Okay. And what is the grammar points? You have to make sure that all the grammar points has its rule. So if you don't know the meaning and the definition of each grammar, like a progressive tense or present tense, past tense, you have to find out them in the dictionary. By the way, you have to prepare the test paper when you prepare a lesson plan, because you cannot go downstairs while you're teaching. Okay, so all the teaching materials or students' test paper should be prepared earlier. Okay, what is our procedures of class? Firstly, you have to when you go to the classroom, you have to let students know that everyone, you have to give me your homework right now. So put your notebook and your contact immediately on the floor, but you have to write down the homework first on the whiteboard, so that student can copy the contact details when they go into classroom. So firstly, teachers should write down the contact details and then remind students to offer their homework immediately when they go into their classroom. Okay, so this is how we give student direction. Okay, and so if you have paper, please take out a piece of paper, and now we are going to write down the lesson plan. Okay, we divide the lesson plan into two parts, right? So firstly, we have to focus on hour 1. So if the class starts at 4:30 to 6:30 and ended at 6:30, so that hour 1 will be 4:30 to 5:30. So firstly, we will ask students to come and get involved into our English learning situation. So we will have some question and answer for it. So everybody, I will say, hello, how are you? And what did you do yesterday? Okay, what are you going to do later after finish class? I will ask them a few questions that we previously learned before. And while we give them the warm up, okay, it means that in this target, we can wait for the student too. So if your student are absent today, you might quickly call the downstairs counter teacher to call them hurry up to come back to the class. And then we have to review the last unit. So if we have some vocabulary that student which needs student to review, so you have to let students, you have to quickly go over it in your class. Okay. And because they finished the homework last week, so that they have homework need to be corrected. So homework correction is an important part too. So if you let students have a good atmosphere to start in your class, greeting with them is very important. Okay, this is how we use grammar, how we use the warm up. How we go warm up. Okay, for example, I was saying hello, hi, how are you today? Hello, what's your name? And how are you? And what do you do? What do you like to do? What did you do yesterday? What will you do tomorrow? There are a few tips that students to answer your question and try to get involved into your class. Number 2, count numbers. You can quickly say, here's 1, and you say 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's your turn, and the student will say 7. Or you have to say, you can change to the months, like January, good, February. Okay, so keep going, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, until they finish December. Okay, or you can teach them 10, 20, 30, 40, or ordinary numbers like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Okay. Okay, now we are going to teach about the spelling, the previous vocabulary too. For example, if they learn swimming, I will call out student like, okay, Jimmy, how do you spell swimming? Jimmy will say S-W-I-M-M-I-G. Very good. If Jimmy doesn't know how to, if Jimmy didn't know how to pronounce, how to spell this word, and everyone should recite together like S-W-I-M-M-I-G. Okay, so make a sentence by using the older vocabulary. For example, going shopping can be easily to make a sentence. So everybody who can make a sentence by using go shopping. Teacher me? Okay, everybody, you can call on someone, you can call anyone in your class, like Jimmy again. Jimmy, okay, you want to make a sentence, right? So you said, okay, I like to go shopping when I have free time. Excellent. So that student can sit down. Alright, answer teacher's question and sit down. This is the basic of our English warm-up methods. Okay, part 2. If we are going to, we have to know the targets in each procedures. We separate each target into 3 little procedures. 1 is presentation, 2 is practice, 3 is closure part. That we call them P1, P2, and C. P1 is that we call it, what is the target? We should present it very clearly so that students can understand easily. You will not explain too much and waste time doing this. Second, if you have good enough practice, students can practice English very well so that they can speak easily. Third, you have to test students, evaluate students whether they understand your class or not. So we always set some games that students to practice. For example, give them points to compete with each other, and then they will evaluate they can speak easily while you give them a game to compete. Alright, so no problem. Okay, when we start dialogue, we have to follow this one. I will write down DIA first, okay, and then I will aim the time that I should finish. Like 4:30, 4:40 to 4:55 means that when I finish the workout, this is the next procedure I have to do. So 4:40 to 4:55. Okay, so dialogue, we have to, if we have a hook, okay, like any kind of system has their own hook dialogue page. So pretend this is the dialogue page. So students we have to see, everybody look at this picture. What do you see in the picture? Okay, everybody can you tell me who he is? So that we call picture telling. So you have to directly write down your procedure, picture telling first. And second, you have to let students to know the sentence patterns in the dialogue. So we have to read the dialogue once. For example, look over there. What are those? They are trees. What are these? They are flowers. You can give them the sentence patterns, structures on whiteboard too. If you have the clean stickers or you prepare the sentence streets by yourself. And you can ask them some question and answer. Everybody, what else can you see? How many birds are there in the picture? What is AB going to do? Alright. So number 2, you have to do repetition and the role play. For example, there are different kinds of characters in our book. So we can order Team A to be Abby, Team B to be Nick, Team C to be maybe the monster. So they have to what? They have to do class role to do role play. So for example, number 1. Okay, so Team A, please read the first sentence. Look over there. What are those? And Team B, they are trees. Good. Team C, what are those? And Team A, keep going. They are flowers. So that they can take turns to practice. If you first finish the first round, you can let students to go the second round. Okay, so that we call it role play. So be careful when you go role play. Before you go role play, you have to do group activities first. What is group activities? You have to let students practice the sentence structures in your class. And then you have to separate them into 3 parts to do their work. In the visual practice is the last part. You have to let students to do one-on-one. For example, you will ask Jimmy, again, Jimmy, how to say the first sentence. And Jimmy will say, look over there, what are those? Got it? Good. And let's see the closure part. Closure part like what's missing, and the reciting, reading. Okay, so you can ask them, so okay, let's recite together. Alright, so you have to directly write down the lesson plans and your procedures clearly so that you can know what is your next step. And then let's see what is the target we finished. Listening, memorizing, and reading. Got it? Listening, reading, memorizing. Do we have spelling and writing? No. In this chapter dialogue, we don't have to let students to spell each word. Got it? So there are some useful ways that students to do presentation. Number 1, role play and repetition. Second, repeats after teachers. Okay, like the teacher read once and student repeat after teacher. Number 3, if you are not a good storyteller, it's okay. You can prepare the CD and play a CD for student first without Chinese, and let student to guess what the story going to talk about. Number 4, silent reading. If your article is quite long, so pretend pretend that student all finish it at home. So you can finish reading at home. You can ask student to do certain reading and set some question that student to find out. Okay, this is a kind of warm-up presentation. Okay, and the picture telling is the best and easier one. So you can ask student to find out what details in the poster. Okay. Alright, so next one, the practice where we use like role play, repetition, repeat after teachers, reading relay, listen, highlight points. So if you have some important sentence that which student need to memorize, you have to task students to take out their highlighter to highlight the key sentence. And then we can say, okay, what is the first sentence teacher ordered? And the student can recite again. Okay, there are some closure parts for students to need to memorize. Firstly, who is faster? Teacher reads and the student point and read. So, for example, okay, here's a what are those? And students have to take out show their fingers and point to the picture, point to the sentence structure. What are those? So teacher say and the teacher reads and student quickly point and repeat again. Who is next? Pretend that sentence construction is related. So look over there. What is the next sentence? What are those? Directly. So that students, when teacher say, look over there, anyone in your class can relate it. Okay, so team A, you can point to team A. Team A say, what are those? And team B, they are trees. If they cannot answer your the sentence immediately, so that they cannot get the points. This is about closure. So when you come to the closure part, you can give them the points immediately. So what's missing? So teacher can put some sentence structure on the whiteboard. So if you take one sentence away, for example, I come back. What is the first rule? Role play, repetition, right? So I skip it. So what is the first rule? You skip it, and the teacher is role play. Big ball is a role play, understand? So you can pretend these are the sentence patterns that you have that student memorize. So you can take this and hide this away, hide it, okay, and the student can say what's missing. By the way, they have to close their eyes first. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. We have some useful closure part for students to follow. For example, who is faster? Teacher who is next, and the question and answer points giving. Alright, on the circle, what's missing? Cuckoo teacher finding mistakes. For example, what are those? They are flowers. Pretend that students know flower is the correct answer. You can ask students like, what are those? They are trees. And what's the wrong part? Teacher me. Oh, teacher me, cuckoo teacher. So they will reply, they are flowers. Got it? Okay, now we are going to talk about vocabulary. So after 15 minutes of dialogue teaching, we have to teach them the vocabulary parts. We have to focus on the listening, memorizing, reading, writing, and spelling. So how it goes? Firstly, how it go? Number one, we have to show them the flashcard, show them the words. For example, flower. We will show them the flashcard or flower. And then I will teach them how to spell the flower. For example, this is the flashcard. F-L-O-W-E-R. So flower, we have to pronounce first F-F-F, L-L-L, O-W, we say out, flower, flower, excellent. One more time, F-L-F-L, O-W, O-W, E-R-E-R, flower, flower. So when you teach them the flashcard, I prefer to show them the picture part. The picture part. And then when I point to the flower, and students need to say flower, flower, flower 3 times for this picture. And after they practice it, they can go to the flower word site. And then when you go to the word site, you have to show them how to pronounce each letter. F-L-F-L, O-W-O-W, flower, flower. Alright, And next one, you have to do some repetition. For example, like how do you spell flower? F-L-O-W-E-R. F-L-O-W-E-R. Paul and spell. Paul on student who is absent-minded. For example, he is maybe flight, he doesn't focus on your class. So you can call Jimmy. How do you spell flower? If Jimmy cannot spell it very well, so everyone have to practice after him. Like F-L-O-W-E-R, flower, flower, flower. Good. And next one, we have to go to writing relay. So writing relay is the basic rules to do. We have to set like we can write down, okay, show them the flashcard. If they are different flashcard, this one is tree. Okay, so when you show the flashcard word side, picture side, and students need to what? They have to spell the word side, right? So how do you spell flower? F-L-O-W-E-R. How do you spell tree? T-E-R-E-E. Okay, good job. So you have to ask students to divide into two groups, Team A, Team B. So Team A, when teacher call you, you have to come here to write down. Team A number 1, the teacher call you. You have to stand here. Okay, Team A number 1, come here. Team B number 1, come here. Okay, so when teacher say flower, and everyone, number 1, you have to write down F-L-O-W-E-R. Flower, F-L-O-W-E-R. Understand? So this is the procedure that we do spelling. Okay. Alright, so now we are going to talk about the patterns. The patterns, we can give them some example later. Inductive method will be very useful skill. So if you answer your question, sentence pattern structure will be, what are these? They are flowers. So you have to talk to them, give them some example like, what are these? They are markers. What are these? They are books. What are these? They are maybe erasers, markers. So you can give them the structures by giving them the listening test. So they can rule them into their own way. Okay, so you have to show them these are totally different from those. So you can show them what are these. Okay, you have to point to these markers and say what are these, but not what is this. Okay, if you have only one markers, you have to say what is this. It is a marker. What is this? It is an eraser. Got it? Okay, and the deductive method is quite different. Deductive method means you have to show them the rules to follow. Pretend that student like you should write and you say, what are these? Question mark, right? You say they are blah blah blah. Because there are two flowers, so we have to put X. So because you write this grammar sentence structure, so that student can see this is about the form that student need to know. Okay, number 2, substitution drill is the practice way. We can put different kinds of flashcards. For example, we can switch. The first flashcard is flowers. The second flashcard is trees. So like we say, what are those? They are flowers. What are those? They are trees. Got it? To do more repetition on it. Okay, and next one, unscramble will be the patterns. Okay, unscramble is very useful to teach them grammar. Okay, for example, I will teach what, W-H-A-T, what are these? Question. So this is not an ordered sentence, so we have to order it. What are these? Question mark. And the student will know how to unscramble it by unscramble the sentence by himself. So that we call unscramble. So next one we are going to talk about QANQ. QANQ is like they are flowers. So how do you make a sentence back? You will know. What they are flowers? Question. Say what are those? They are trees. Question. What are those? Got it? So I'm going to school. So you may ask the question like what are you going to do? Okay. And the translation will be the basic part. If you have less student know the Chinese meaning, you can give them the translation practice. Okay, but all all the sentence structure need to be written on the whiteboard so that you can quickly go over the practice. There are some closure parts, like if you write down on the sentence structure of like I have learned English for 3 years, so you can learn how to say this word. I have learned, L-E-L-R-N-E-D, learned English. How do you spell English? E-N-G-L-I-S-H. Okay, so when you see has, you have to write down since or for. But this is the time that continues, so we say continuous, so we have to say for 3 years. But if you want to say that since you are young, you were young, so you have to say since I was young. Alright, on Scramble, this is how it goes. Okay, how we show students the sentence structures by using the little whiteboard or the monitor. Okay, I'm projecting it. Okay, so sorry, this is the very small do. What are you going to do? Okay, tomorrow night, got it? Right. Or this part practice like transform. I am an interesting person, so if you change to he, you say he is an interesting person. Change to she is an interesting person. That we call them transformation. Transformation, transformation. Question, answer, question. I like frogs, so how do you make a question? You have to say, what do you like? So firstly, you have underlined the words frogs. I will go to Taipei this summer, so the question will be, where will you go this summer? Got it? Alright, now we are going to teach you the phonics part. Phonics is the basic, if students learn phonics well, they can pronounce each word by themselves. So we use 15 minutes to finish this one. Listening, memorizing, and reading. Okay, so point and read like you can say and, right? So you can put points to the sentence. So like point and read is the basic. And the teacher tell me, okay, then for example, okay, if there are a few words like and, A and T, X and X, and apple, A-P-P-L-E. I will point to say, everybody now point and read. Say and, X, and apple. What's the same sound? A. So A. So this is point and read, and that student to know the rules. And the teacher telling, pretend that students doesn't know these words, so you can show them the poster, okay, with the picture sets. Okay, practice, we have to do some repetition, spin the wheel. Okay, so if you can order, this is the first sentence, first word, and then the second word. B, bag, bug. What's the same sound? Bug, right? So, and then how about C? Cat, car, and we can say like cook. Alright. So there are 3 words we can give students. So we use a wheel to spin. When you come to this, student have to quickly read and as apple. A apple. When you spin to B, bag, bug, B, bag. So this is called repetition, spin wheel. Okay? And then read the words, listen, and circle. For example, if you want student to write down is ant, so they have to quickly circle the words by themselves. We can order some word and write some word on the whiteboards and ask them to touch the words. Okay, now finish the activities in the activity book. We all have the activity book on their activity book, so they have to finish their activity book as well. Okay. Okay, after finish all the chapters that we need to teach in hour 1, we can ask students to take a short break. So be careful, students are very hard to control. So if you ask students to go out of the classroom together, they will be very wild to control. Okay, so everyone should be older, go to the bathroom one after one. Okay, take turns going to the bathroom is very important. And when you see that student who is late for school, or he or she needs to do more practice, and he is always the lazy one, so he or she needs to stay in the classroom to finish the homework correction. And if some students want to do more practice, and they have a lot of homework need to do at home, so that you can give them the time to do today's homework, so that they can do can go to different kind of classes without doing your homework at home. They can waste time. They will not waste too much time at home. Okay, next one. So we have to let students memorize. For example, flower trees. The vocabulary that you teach need to be memorized. Okay. So if there's no need, I suggest you not to let students go to the restaurant together. So we have to try to use the way that take turns going to the bathroom. Okay. And hour 2, when you finish the teaching, so when we go to hour 2, so you have to review the first hour targets, like review patterns and the vocabulary dialogue for 15 minutes. Okay, and this is how I do in class. I will ask them to take out your contact book or take out a piece of white paper, empty paper, to write down the words that I ordered. And they have to write down the English spelling. Okay, so number 2, we have to ask how do we go to patterns review. We can directly ask them the question, like what are these? And students can say they are trees. Okay, or we can give them a few times a little time and recite the main sentence with teacher together. Okay, keep going. Alright, so now we go to the activity difficulties. Activity difficulty is very basic because the homework the homework is included some chapter, some kind of activities, but some of them are difficult, like the clothes, translation, transformation, unscramble. So you can find all these kind of practice to let students to practice in your class before they go home, right? So if you don't have enough time, I suggest teacher can open the activity book to quickly read it. Okay. So teacher can ask them what is the key points they need to circle. For example, what will we do tomorrow? So if the clothes part is will, what will you do tomorrow? So the keywords is will. So here, what you need to fill in, you have to write down will, right? So there may have different kind of selection, but you have to know you have to circle the key words and you can fill in the correct answer selection. Understand? So show the difficult activities and teach them how to choose the correct answer. Circle key points, detail, and you have to ask them why you have to choose will to be your selection, and they will tell you because of the word tomorrow. Okay, repetition, read it once and memorize the sentence. Okay, read the previous lesson, review the previous lesson. Okay, for example, we have going to teach students, we have to going to let students to have a short quiz. So they have to prepare it. So teacher, you can be the leader to go over the vocabulary practice first, so that they can write down their test paper easily. Alright, recite the previous sentence patterns or vocabulary, and fully recite them, and choose some difficulties. Number 2, you have to show the difficulty activities, and then you have to teach them how to. This is the state what we teach in that activity book, right? So do repetition so that students can write their test paper easily. Memorize the sentence and give students the test paper. So if you have students whose grades are very bad, like lower than 85, they have to make up the test. So we have to give them the make-up test paper first, and they can do today's test paper. Okay, before you finish your lesson, so you will be 5 minutes to make some affair, like let's learn to check homework, finish the notebook NCT, correction, and you have to remind students need to correct it once, amend it once, and that's parents to sign. Okay, if your teacher can check if without time to if teacher would need to check homework or contact book, you can use these 5 minutes to do this. Okay, kind of fair. You have to check students whether they have to do listening homework and memorize it to parents or use the online test. You can directly see if students finish the details on their content book. Alright, this is how we return how we finish our lesson plan. You can see my hour 1 I use 10 minutes to do warm up, then what skills I use, question answer, review by students, recovery spelling, correct homework, wait for the students. And the dialogue, I use picture telling and question answer, then I do some role play, repetition, closure part, I ask them some question, and that's the to answer it. Vocabulary, I use 15 minutes to finish. So the first one I use flashcard and phonics rule to teach, and then I will use some repetition, close and say do some season at least 3 times to do more in the practice. And then I use writing relay, spelling relay to finish this target. Patterns. There's individual practice. You have to give students a few examples to know how to use this sentence, and then give them the form to follow. And the substitution means you have to put some flashcard on the sentence structure, and so that student can do more practice by your supporting. Okay. Unscramble and translation is the next part. 5 minutes break. Okay, is the end of the hour 1. Hour 2, we have to do some work up to review the class. The first unit, first hour, we recall the memory, like vocabulary spelling, sentence patterns, recite. Okay, and the phonics, we have to go on. Okay, the phonics. Okay, use the poster listening and point with repetition to drill who's faster activities in the book. Okay, so we use 15 minutes to finish this part. In the end of the class, by the end of the class, we have to give them we have to find out some difficulties and ask them to practice before your class, before you finish class, so that they can do the homework at home. And the quiz, we have to retest them. We have to help them to recite the previous lesson so that they can have the quiz today. Alright, and the correction, memorize, and the content book check. So this is how we write our lesson plan. If you cannot engage on every details, it's okay. We have to let you know more, but be careful. You have to prepare your lesson earlier so that you will not feel too nervous and feel confused about how to write this. Let's recall it. The 3 steps presentation, practice, closure will be written on each topic, right? Like vocabulary, patterns, download, listening difficulties, work out. Thank you for your listening. Bye bye.